You ever spend 15 grand and 3 months planning a dream anniversary trip for your husband, only to watch him toss you aside at the airport and take his secretary instead? Yeah, that was the day I stopped believing in fairy tales and started learning who I really was. And let me tell you, I don't think David or that perfect little Brittany ever saw what was coming. 10 years married. That's supposed to mean something, right? I thought it did. My name's Jessica Harper, 39, marketing director, decent cook, terrible at yoga, married to a man who could charm the bark off a tree. I spent weeks combing through travel blogs, calling every luxury villa agency in Florence, hunting down the best vineyard tours, Michelin reservations. All of it. Every detail. Every dollar. Just for us. For him. I could picture his face lighting up when he'd realize what I'd done. I wore my favorite dress to the airport that morning. Burgundy, a little risky, but hey, 10 years, why not? Heart pounding, palms sweating, nerves buzzing like a live wire. And then, out of nowhere, I see him, my husband, strolling up curbside with a suitcase in one hand, and in the other, the tiniest blonde you've ever seen. Brittany. The secretary, he always said, was just a kid with hustle. She wore heels sharp enough to pierce my dignity. I can still hear his voice. Actually, Jess, I'm taking Brittany. She's a little more exciting than museums and architecture, don't you think? He laughed. Brittany giggled, hanging on his arm. I stared, feeling like my insides were folding in on themselves. 10 years, just swept aside like an old winter coat. He told me to go home, maybe order takeout, binge those sad little period dramas I liked. My hands shook so badly, I barely managed to hand over the perfect little folder with our tickets, our itinerary, the one I'd spent weeks formatting. And just like that, they slid into the town car I'd booked, laughing, like I was the punchline to some private joke. I stood on the curb and felt something crack. Not quite heartbreak, something colder, sharper. The drive home was a fog. I don't even remember traffic lights, just flashes. David's first smile at me, the night we painted our front door, the way he'd started rolling his eyes every time I mentioned work. How did I not see this coming? How did I not see myself turning into a ghost in my own life? That house, it looked like a magazine cover. My garden, the green door I painted because he called it sophisticated, the bay window I once thought would frame our future kids. All it framed now was a woman standing on the outside of her own story. But beneath the humiliation, something else started growing. Maybe fury. Maybe freedom. I walked in, dropped my purse, and called my travel agent. Patricia, I need to make some changes to that Italy trip. Actually, I need to make a lot of changes. Turns out, when you're the one who pays, you hold all the cards. Every reservation, villa, car, restaurants, tours, was in my name. Cancel his ticket, add one for Rachel Owens, my college roommate, and the only person who'd ever told me to stop living my life for other people. Rachel picked up after 2 rings, already yelling, "Jess? Wait, aren't you supposed to be halfway to Italy right now, drinking wine with Prince Charming?" I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "Prince Charming just took the evil stepsister to Tuscany. You want to come?" She swore like only Rachel can. "I'm packing my bags. Meet you at the airport in 3 hours. Also, I want pasta and revenge." I blocked David's number on the way to the airport. He kept calling, but I watched those calls stack up with a kind of sick satisfaction. Rachel met me at security, waving her passport and an oversized sun hat. I felt lighter already. On that plane, first class, champagne, a seat that reclined all the way, I finally took a breath. I wore the red dress David hated, packed my hiking boots he mocked, grabbed my old camera. This trip wasn't about pleasing him anymore. This was for me. We landed in Florence to golden sun, coffee in the air, the kind of light that makes you believe life could start over if you let it. Our driver, Luigi, of course, straight out of a movie, held a sign with my name. I felt like someone new, someone dangerous. I didn't check my phone until we reached the villa. A palace, honestly. Frescoed ceilings, marble floors, a view of the Arno that could break your heart. Rachel flopped onto a chaise and popped a bottle of Chianti. My phone buzzed. 30 missed calls from David. Rachel grinned. You gonna listen? Why not? I shrugged, putting it on speaker. David. First message. Jess, there's been a mix-up. The hotel says there's no reservation. Call me back. Second message. This is insane. The car service isn't here. Brittany's panicking. Fix this. By the 5th. We're stranded at the airport. Everything's in your name. You need to stop this childish... Rachel was in tears, laughing by then. I wasn't sure if I wanted to cry or cheer. By the 10th message, his tone changed. Jess, maybe we can work something out. Maybe we can share the villa. Please call me. Share the villa. Right. Like I'd fund a front row seat to my own humiliation. Later that night, as Rachel and I watched the sun set, drinking wine on our balcony, my phone pinged with a new number. Mrs. Harper, this is Brittany. Please, I need to talk. We've been sleeping at the airport for 2 days. David spent all his cash. I have to get back to work, but we can't even book a flight. I showed Rachel. She nearly choked on her pasta. She's got guts. You gotta give her that. Another text. I didn't know it was your anniversary. I thought he was just taking me on vacation. Please, I'm begging you. I should have been furious, but honestly, I just felt sorry for her. I mean, yeah, she chose to chase after a married man, but David never even told her the truth. I messaged her back. Your return flights are at the American Airlines desk. Confirmation code 3X5C8B. They leave tonight. Don't miss them. Rachel raised an eyebrow. You're letting her off that easy? She's 26. Stupid, maybe, but not evil. David can figure out his own way home. He called again. I picked up, mostly out of curiosity. Jess, thank God. Listen, this has all gone too far. We need to talk, like adults. I get it, I messed up. But you can't just leave your husband stranded in Italy. I cut him off, voice flat. Actually, David, those tickets? Those are mine. I paid for everything. I planned everything. I've already let Brittany use one of the return flights, the others for me. A pause. I pictured him looking helpless, lost, all that smooth confidence melting into panic. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know, David. Maybe ask your secretary. Oh, right. She'll be on a plane in 6 hours. He begged. I hung up, then blocked his number, for good this time. Standing on the balcony that night, Florence glowing beneath us, Rachel beside me, I took the deepest breath of my life. I felt the old version of myself, the woman who measured her worth by someone else's approval, finally slip away. Sometimes the best revenge isn't screaming or crying or getting even. Sometimes it's just moving on, letting them sit with the mess they made while you sip wine and watch the world open up. So, would you forgive?